Max, could you please explain SigmaRoc's development using its buy and build approach?
So SigmaRoc was founded in 2016 at the end of, with the main aim to aggregate and consolidate the quarried materials space across North Europe, starting in the UK and then developing slowly across Benelux and then into Northern Europe. To date, we're about 400 million turnover roughly across that jurisdiction, 10 countries, and close to 20 million tons in stone produced out of a raft of quarries in various locations. The approach and the strategy we used since the beginning, and this was primarily driven by the very local nature of the product, so you mine it locally and sell it locally as well, is to give as much autonomy as possible to the operators of every division, site, or cluster of activities, which we call platforms. And that strategy is captured in 4 words: invest, improve, integrate, and now more recently also innovate, which means we invest in high quality businesses in good jurisdictions. We improve them as we can, primarily operationally, and that's very local, very much looking at what the production process looks like, what the sales process looks like. We integrate them into platforms of compatible activity, and then we try to innovate as much as possible to offer new customer solutions and product solutions in every specific region and platform.
Max, could you tell us how the Nordkalk acquisition fitted in with group strategy?
So Nordkalk was a business we knew for a long time, given the fact that it's part of one of the key and great businesses of Northern Europe in the quarrying space and in the production of limestone and limestone-derived products. We had it on our radar for a while because it was a key component for us to complement and fill in our footprint across North Europe. So we were already in the UK and in the Benelux, and we have activities outside or in the bordering areas, but then have a solid presence in Northern Europe, primarily Finland, Sweden, Norway, and into Poland was absolutely key. So that business coming on having been made aware of the fact that it was potentially for sale was obviously very interesting to us, and then we obviously went to see if we could integrate that into our group. And as a consequence of this now, the group has made again another leap in terms of scale and size and reach, in product reach, also in terms of diversification of product and end use and in end markets. We're now closing in on 400 and so million in turnover, but that's not just in one country. It's across 10 jurisdictions with a multitude of different product streams. So from a diversification perspective, this acquisition is key, and also from a geographic footprint perspective, this business was key.
Max, how does SigmaRoc seek to improve the performance of acquired operations?
So when we buy a business, the starting point is always a quality company. So we tend not to focus on turnaround cases or businesses that have gone bankrupt, because we want to have a quality base to start from. Given all our businesses are relatively in the same sector, which is a quarrying business, the starting point is always to look at what happens in the quarry, what happens in the pit. Half the battle is won if the quarry is efficient. We have teams in the center at this group which go in, which very much help, a little bit like a consulting outfit would do, help the local management team and the local teams there to understand where they could benefit from efficiencies in terms of use of machinery, use of teams, use of shifts, product types, the interaction between all of it, the interaction with other setups they have further away. That all is the first step that we always take. Once the operation quarrying wise is stabilized and in a better shape than when we acquired it, we then look at what the commercial aspects look at. Where else can we make more money? Where can we sell at a better price? Where can we sell to different customers? Where can we extend our customer network? And the two streams of improvement usually go hand in hand a little bit. There's a little bit of overlap and take about a year to complete. And a complete year would then be 3 months or so of observing what the business is doing, and then 6 months or so of actually helping and improving the business, and then another 3 months to make sure that the improvements are effectively well embedded and will stay there for the future. So it's a very well rehearsed program, but it's never the same because every business is specific. And as we keep businesses decentralized and very local, we want to be sure that we don't have cookie cutter type approaches, but very much tailored to the specific needs of a company we buy.
Max, what are the biggest challenges and opportunities facing SigmaRoc?
The challenges, I think that they're the same sort of challenges as the sector as a whole. First and foremost, we are active in a sector which has historically always been exposed to cycles and macroeconomic conditions. So that's clearly something that forms part of our challenges, which we manage day in, day out. And at the same time, now on top of that, and perhaps compounding it a bit, is the environmental challenges that our sector faces and stepping away from some of the fuels and the energy sources that it typically would use. So that is clearly a challenge, but it also presents an opportunity. And the opportunity there lies in essentially two streams. On the one hand, if you are able as a competitor in this industry to crack the nut of what source of energy do you use and what product do you make with that, you're clearly out front. And secondly, in that search, you might find, as we have done and as we are still doing, you find all sorts of new routes, new products, new ideas that you can capitalize on. And that again then directs a little bit our M&A strategy and our geographic expansion, because not only are we now on the lookout for high quality businesses that we integrate in our group to become a bigger and more successful quarrying business, but we're also looking at what product groups within that would be the right sort of addition to the portfolio that we currently have for the future. So if you balance the two out, the challenges actually drive the opportunities, and the opportunities are more numerous than the challenges currently.
Max, could you please outline SigmaRoc's sustainability credentials in the construction materials supply chain, please?
So in terms of sustainability, the group has been extremely active right from when we founded the business, essentially. And that is right across our production process all the way to the delivery of product to customers. So we've always been active in pumping water out of our quarries, filtering that in, and then re-injecting that into the water network, or installing solar panels to make sure that our energy use was more sustainable. But we didn't stop at that point. We then looked at what products are we supplying and how can we make them more sustainable. So we recycle, for instance, plastic bottles into asphalt or nappies into asphalt. But these were external solutions that we applied within our group. And again, that wasn't enough from our perspective. We wanted to do, again, something more. And so one of those initiatives was Green Block, which is an in-house developed solution for ultra-low carbon concrete products. So we replaced the cement in concrete with an ultra-low carbon binder, which reduces our embodied carbon by 70–80% for those products. That was developed in-house and it was commercialized, and it's indeed a big success and has allowed us to then transit the entire concrete products supply we have from a standard supply to an ultra-low carbon solution. So everybody can now from us receive any application in concrete products in an ultra-low carbon footprint. So that's again an initiative internally, which forms effectively the start from our perspective of a much more expanded ESG agenda, which we hope will be certainly industry leading, if not sector leading.